Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from this rather cold and windy Johannesburg morning. Welcome to the video that will summarize the August 2020 Accounting Practices Committee meeting. My name is Milton Segal. I'm the Senior Executive at SAICA in Corporate Reporting. And joining me, I'm privileged to introduce Professor Ahmed Haji, Chair of the APC. Welcome, Ahmed.
Thanks, Milton. It's a privilege to be presenting this video side by side with you. And I also know that this is one of the first videos that we are doing. So it's a great privilege and an honor to be presenting this video to our listeners today. Milton, with your permission, I will get the discussions going, and I will begin to provide an overview of the discussions at our most recent APC meeting, which took place in the last week of August. Milton, you were also present at the meeting, so please feel free to add as we go along. At our recent meeting, we heard from APC members that headline earnings is still very relevant and widely used by analysts and investors. The APC would continue to monitor new IFRS standard setting developments and its potential impact on the headline earnings circular.
So Ahmed, as we know, there's a lot of activity at the moment within the ISB, and therefore we assigned team leaders to 4 of the ISB projects within our APC work program. And these projects are the request for information for the post-implementation review of IFRS 10, 11, and 12, the discussion paper on business combinations under common control, the disclosure initiative that are subsidiaries, that are SME project, as well as the exposure draft on rate-regulated activities.
Cool. Once we concluded with the assignment of the projects to the various APC team leaders, the APC then moved to consider the draft SAICA comment letter on ED 403 titled General Presentation and Disclosure, and discussed the way forward. It is the intention of the APC to finalize the comment letter soon, and the submission will be made before the comment deadline date of the 30th of September 2020.
Indeed, Ahmed. And this is such an important exposure draft that could have a real material impact on the way that entities report and disclose their financial results. And therefore, this is an area that the APC has been giving significant attention to, from feedback sessions to roundtable discussions to even hosting a SAICA Tech Talk presentation on this very theme.
Once we concluded that agenda point, the committee moved on to discuss the next comment letter relating to ED 404, titled IFRS for SME Standard, Request for Information, Comprehensive Review of the IFRS for SME Standard, and discussed the way forward.
Again, Ahmed, this is such an important area as many entities report using the SME standard or have the potential to report using the SME standard, but elect not to, either because of potentially group reporting requirements or requirements of banks, lenders, or funders. And therefore, the potential to somehow align SME IFRS reporting to that of full IFRS is one of strategic importance to SAICA.
Thanks, Milton. Thereafter, the committee moved to consider the accounting framework, be it IFRS or IFRS for SMEs, that is applicable for attorneys holding funds in a trust on behalf of their clients. More work and outreach is still required in this particular area. Then the committee moved to consider the due process followed for the issuance of a new circular titled The Recognition of Lease Income and Expense on a Basis Other than the Straight Line Basis under IFRS 16 leases. And after the consideration, the APC members moved to approve the new circular. Following that, we then considered and discussed developments outside our borders that could impact the SAICA frequently asked questions on the Zimbabwe functional currency.
And Ahmed, this is so important for us as SAICA, as many South African entities consolidate the results of their Zimbabwean subsidiaries branches and even associates into their results. And therefore, just to let viewers know that the Frequently Asked Questions Guide is also available on our SAICA website.
Thanks for that, Milton. I think the viewers will find that very useful, especially when they are consolidating the results of their Zimbabwean counterparts. The committee then moved to note the deferral of the effective date of the amendment to ICE 1, classification of liabilities as current or non-current, to 1 January 2023.
Thank you, Ahmed. And even though lockdown restrictions continually to open up and we reduce our lockdown level, we still as a committee considered whether any further guidance on the application of IFRS in light of the COVID situation is still required, specifically for non-going concern reporting and the fair value of investment property. Again, more work and outreach may be required in this area.
Thanks, Milton. The committee then moved to discuss another topic, and it was brought to the attention of the committee that there's the potential lack of clarity relating to the presentation of subsequent expenditure on biological assets, either as cost of sales or within fair value movements. And Milton, I know you were more closer to this particular issue.
So interesting, Ahmed, that the IFRIC has also looked at this particular matter too. And therefore, we will discuss this further with the affected members, and industry.
Thanks, Milton. Then the committee moved to receiving the report backs from the various invitees to the meeting, and report backs were provided by the IRBA, then the ISB's Accounting Standards Advisory Forum, also known as ASAF, the ISB's Emerging Economies Group, also known as the EEG, and then SAICA's IFRS 17 Insurance Contracts Working Group, followed by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, or the ASB, and then lastly, we were informed and provided a report back of the activities of the SAICA Standards Division.
Well, Ahmed, on top of all of that, the committee also noted the June 2020 IFRIC update and the June and July 2020 IASB updates.
Thanks, Milton. It was a long meeting. Typically, the agendas of an APC meeting are very busy and very packed, but the APC then concluded the meeting, making a note that the final meeting for 2020 is scheduled for November.
Great. Well, this brings us to the end of the short video. Thank you to you, Ahmed, as chair of the APC, for providing this overview of the discussions within the last meeting. To our members and viewers, we trust you found this informative, and we look forward to further engagements.
Thanks to you too, Milton. It was a great pleasure to be presenting side by side to you on this recording. Have a wonderful day further.
Be well.